Howdy folks, Brother Jim reporting here this evening. Breaking news, Representative Doug Collins releases unredacted Lisa Page testimony to Congress. On Friday, Republican Doug Collins, a Republican of Georgia, my home state, released the Bruce Orr testimony transcript online. Representative Collins said his patience with the DOJ had grown thin, so he released the testimony. Collins plans on releasing more testimony. The Orr testimony disclosed that Bruce Orr gave his wife's opposition research on Trump to the FBI in a flash drive. On Tuesday, Representative Doug Collins released the Lisa Page testimony online.
Without objection, the gentleman is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Last week on the floor of this chamber, I released the transcript of the interview of Bruce Orr from our investigation into apparent wrongdoing at the FBI and DOJ. At that time, I said there would make additional transcripts from the committee investigation public, and I'm here today to keep that promise. As I stated then, our interview transcripts were pertinent to a congressional investigation, but the 115th Congress ended, the investigation was closed, and copies were shared with certain members of Congress. Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, I request that the link dougcollins.congress.gov/page be placed in the record so the American people can review the transcript of Lisa Page. The American people deserve to know what transpired at the highest echelons of the FBI during the tumultuous time for the Bureau. Out of an abundance of caution, the transcript has a limited number of narrowly tailored redactions related only to confidential sources and methods, non-public information about ongoing investigations, and non-material personal information. I will continue to work to release as many transcripts as possible. The American people deserves transparency, and with that,
Leave it to one of my home state representatives, Doug Collins. Excellent job, sir. And there's a link right there, as you see. The transcript is 205 pages long. It will be, inspected, looked at, and everything. I'm not going to go through it right now, but they have the link right here. The link to this whole report will be down below as usual. The Pelosi scam. Far left speaker knows dirty cop Mueller and skunk Weissman are not going to give Trump a pass. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi came out against impeaching President Trump in an interview on Monday. I don't think we should go down that path because it divides the country. We heard this already. Unless there's something so compelling and overwhelming and bipartisan, Pelosi said, adding, he's just not worth it. Oh, how sweet of you to lay out such a nice comment like that. He's just not worth it. This isn't the first time Nancy Pelosi, who is third in the line of succession to be president, admitted Trump has committed no crimes. Now, I did report this earlier, so I just want you to understand that. More than 100 times, the FBI, DOJ, or Mueller gang deviated from standard practice or committed crimes in effort to exonerate Hillary and indict Trump. The corruption is just massive. And Judicial Watch files a FOI lawsuit against DOJ for Rosenstein's discussions of the 25th Amendment and removal of President Trump. Good for you, Judicial Watch and Tom Fitton again. Judicial Watch announced on Tuesday they will file a FOIA lawsuit against the Department of Justice for all records on Rod Rosenstein between May 8th and May 17, 2017, when the FBI Director James Comey was fired. It was during this time that Rosenstein and top officials discussed secretly recording President Trump and removing him using the 25th Amendment, so we need that. Judicial Watch announced today that it filed a Freedom of Information Act lawsuit against the U.S. Department of Justice for all records of communications of Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein between May 8th and May 17th. Judicial Watch filed the lawsuit after the DOJ failed to respond to a September 21, 2018 FOIA request. Judicial Watch seeks any and all emails, text messages, and/or records of the communications addressed to or received by Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein between May 8, 2017 and May 22nd. The time period referred to in the lawsuit was the critical one. On May 8th, Rosenstein wrote a memo to President Trump recommending that FBI Director James Comey be fired. So it was all a setup so we can try and get you in trouble, Trump. The next day, President Trump fired Comey. On May 17, Rosenstein appointed former FBI Director Robert Mueller to investigate Russian meddling in the 2016 presidential election. What a treasonous traitor he is. Between May 8th and May 17th, Rosenstein met with then acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe and other senior Justice Department FBI officials to discuss invoking the 25th Amendment and to try and practice their coup d'etat to remove President Trump, and whether Rosenstein and others should wear a wire to secretly record conversations with the president. Socialism in action. Venezuelans collect drinking water from the sewer. Isn't that sad? It's so sad. These poor bastards, Venezuelan citizens of the socialist revolution, are forced to collect sewage runoff for drinking water. And at the same time, we have a socialist movement in this country through the Democrat Party. What a crazy time to even do it. You would think that they would try a different time. Amazing, isn't it? These same suffering people are eating from garbage trucks. That's a fake picture now, you know. This is fake news here. People are just eating from garbage just to make me look like I'm bad, you know. A lot of Americans helped usher in this new era of poverty. Let's stroll down memory lane. Chavez with good buddy Sean Penn. Oh, Sean Penn, we just love you so much. Chavez was with good buddy Oliver Stone. Holly Weird. With Michael Moore, another Holly Weird producer. The Human Blob. Chavez and his billionaire daughter with good buddy Susan Sarandon. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Susan. And Chavez with good buddy all-around guy Kevin Spacey, you know, the guy that just can't stop having sex with little boys and young men. Chavez with good buddy former President Obama. Oh, the past president of the United States. The regime, the only president of the United States that was a tyrant, dictator, and the world's largest Islamic jihadist in a political state. Chavez with good buddy Danny Glover. Oh. And then there's Chavez with good buddy former President Carter and with Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, you know, #1 state sponsor of terror. We would have included images of Chavez with his pals in the Republican Party, but there are none. Oddly, the only Americans this leftist dictator had were all on the left side of the aisle. Funny how that kind of works. Democrats should personally fly fresh drinking water, give it to these people, and then take a swig of the sewer water their policies produce. Well, don't worry. Jesus will give them that. Because Revelation 17 says emphatically that. I mean, Revelation 18, pardon me, to the whore who rides the beast. We go down here a little bit. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Reward her, even as she rewarded you. Double unto her double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill to her double. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, the queen of heaven, 5 times in the Old Testament, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's what the queen of heaven in the Old Testament is, the whore who rides the beast. The Jezebel spirit who killed her husband, Ahab. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judges her. You notice it says utterly burned with fire, but if you go back one chapter, you see who is burning her with fire. And boy, is this sweet poetic justice. I just love it. It says right here, who the 10 kings have one mind and shall give power and their strength unto the beasts. But then it says, we go down a little bit here, it says, They shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is the Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called, chosen, and faithful. Then it says, the 10 horns, which are the 10 kings, which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. There you go. There's that burn her with fire. The 10 kings that were in one mind with the beast are going to eat her up. It's kind of like the Democrat Party nowadays. They're kind of eating each other up, aren't they? Thank you for listening. Let me be serious with you. I would rather that you donate to my ministry directly. I cannot survive financially to keep this ministry and news service going without your help. And we all know their plans to shut me down again. But many of you would like to receive a gift or product as a token of my appreciation. And I don't blame you. Isn't it about time Uncle Sam started paying you instead of you paying him? It is about time. The federal government pays you your rent check. The government rents out thousands of buildings instead of buying them every year. This is all funded by the current $11.1 billion building fund in our budget. Get your free federal rent check today. Sign up with the Federal Millionaire information here down below. Become a shareholder to receive federal rent checks for life by making a one-time investment as a shareholder. An IRS ruling declares this to be totally legal. This is no joke, no scam, and been for many years. The longer your name is on the distribution list, the larger your federal rent check grows. As inflation rises along with real estate, the government pays you more every year. Starting out as little as $1,800 a month would be your rent check. Wouldn't that be nice to receive every month a rent check like that? The federal government continues to raise your income as inflation rises. This puts an end to retiring with a fixed income that leaves you going broke as you get older. This will put a major dent in those people who hate their home taxes going up every year, wouldn't it? And folks, the price for this valuable information will cost you only $39 a year or $79 for a 2-year membership. Sign up today.